Welcome everybody to Crimson Banshee Gaming. In this map review we're looking at the Hills of Slovenia by WhiteBull Modding. Well, hello, I have been dropped into the map. I've put it on easy mode so we have access to all the initial vehicles and buildings, and I'm facing a grey wall rather interestingly. So let's have a quick look around. I of course haven't had a look at this map at all. I know nothing about it. I make sure I don't look at any other reviews online just so that I can experience this for the first time and bring you guys along with me. So I appear to be in, I suppose it must be the farmhouse. Let's have a look here. Yeah, so that's my sleep station. Kitchen here. Go through. So I must have been stood next to the doorway when we first came in. So let's make our way outside. There we go. So let's have a little bit of information about this map before we head on. So as I said in the intro, this map is called the Hills of Slovenia by WhiteBull Modding. It's a mid-sized map with 44 small irregular shaped fields, so you won't see any square plots of land on this particular map. There's plenty of forestry work available. There's a range of different forests that we can access that lumber and get into that if that's what we're into. And there's also a range of selling points which we'll check out later. Geographically, the map is a fair representation of the Slovenian countryside with hills and grassland to give that authentic feel, with small roads and tracks branching off from the main road that runs through the centre of town. In terms of the objects, I'm interested to pay a little bit of attention to those because they all have new textures. So we'll keep our eyes peeled and we'll start to have a bit of a wander around. Let's do the usual map view first and see where we are. Right, so right in the middle here we can see this isn't a huge map. As it says in the blurb about this particular map, it's mid-sized, and that's absolutely fine. Lots of small irregular fields, so I think this map is going to suit the sort of player who enjoys to play with small to mid-sized machinery. If you're looking for something a bit more heavy, a bit larger, then the open wide 4x maps, most of the American maps in particular, have a lot of wide open spaces and absolutely vast fields to work in. But I think this is a quaint looking map. We'll have to have a look around shortly, but let's just have a little pan around. 44 fields, rivers. We can see we have a nice forestry area here which looks like it has lots of nice winding tracks working its way through, which is beautiful. And we have the same to the west of our central location here. We have the main road, which I assume is this blue road here rather than a stream. I think that is a road that's running through north and then obviously south east as well. Let's get up in drone cam and have a quick look at the landscape. So here we are over the farm here. When we first come out of the front door of our main farmhouse, we are actually facing south, and that's the way we're pointing right now. So we're heading south here, just over the top of the farm. Just going to go quite slowly here with the drone cam, just to give everyone a nice view from a top-down position of how things are looking. And I think it's looking quite tidy. So just heading now kind of in a southwesterly direction from the corner farmhouse there. You can see some new textures on the ground representing some tyre tracks. They look very nice up close, perhaps a little bit overbearing up here, but then who actually is going to be playing from any elevated position, I don't know. But it's I'll be interesting to see if actually those change over the seasons and if they change when you actually drive over them with machinery. I don't suspect that they're interactive, but they are a nice visual feature. So as we can see just to the west here of the main farm area, we have various buildings, and I can see that we have some selling points down there which we'll jump down and have a look at shortly once we get back on the ground. Flying over these other buildings, all nicely done. Again, a couple more selling points, nicely packed together, which is always useful. It means that you only have to travel to one location to do most of your selling. I'm sure there are other locations on the map which we will visit shortly. So let's head straight forward in that direction, keeping our farm to the right hand side, heading over towards that orange roofed building in the distance. Lots of lovely mountainous backgrounds here, gives everything an idea of scale. So we are heading southwest now over fields 17, 12 and 11 I think. I got confused a minute ago, we were actually heading northeast, so we're in a different direction now. So that's the carpentry down below us. You can see huge amounts of logs there, which is not unsurprising given the amount of forestry that's available here. Now this isn't what I would call a forestry map by any means. This is more of a small localized map, as I said in intro, with small vehicles and tractors, that kind of gameplay. But there certainly is enough here if you are keen on a bit of forestry to keep you entertained. We are right smack bang in the southwest corner of the map here. I've just increased the elevation of the drone cam just to give everyone a nice overview of the surrounding areas. You can see there's some quite nice rolling hills. There's certainly some fields with some gradients and undulation, so you will need to bear that in mind when you're picking up various bits of equipment. Large equipment does not necessarily like rolling hills. Equally, you may need to go for something a little bit more powerful for the size of vehicle. So I'm just crabbing to the left here, in effect going north with the drone cam. Let's start heading east over these few fields here. Again below we can see some of the new track textures at play there. They really do stand out, so you can see where all the individual small tracks are. Just heading over the north side of the farm now, keeping that in effect to the south of us on the right hand side. Some nice streams and features, dotted rocks and landscape. It's a nice feeling map. I'm keen to get down on the ground, see what vehicles we start with when we start with easy mode, and have a look around all the different selling points. We'll pick out a route, have a bit of a drive around and see how things feel on the ground. And here we are home, back at the farm. Right, let me grab some keys, let's pick a vehicle and get going. However, before I get ahead of myself, let's have a look at what we actually start with when we start this particular map on easy mode. We start with 100k in the bank, but let's have a look at what items we have. So small tractors, we start with the Zeta Major CL, so that's a nice little tractor just to get us going. We also have a medium tractor, two of which, the John Deere 7810, an absolute classic, everyone loves a John Deere 7810, and also the Massey Ferguson 3670. Two very popular vehicles in the game. I'm sure everyone's had experience with both of these. Let's move quickly on and have a look at harvesters. The Dirtsfar Topliner 1490H, I suspect we'll have both headers for that, but we'll check in a minute. Obviously the classic Lizard pickup 1986, one of Dusty's favourites. If you're a big follower of my Dusty Survival series, he will not sell that truck for love nor money. Trailers, DK115, headers, the Topliner 1490, a small 1.2 metre plough, the Pottinger Servo 25. Then we have two power harrows by the looks of things. We have the Amazon and the Nordston. We have the Amazon Santana Cedar. We have a muck spreader in the form of the Verioflex 750. Then we have the Kuhn GMD 4411, which is the side mower. We have a small tedder here, the 4.4 metre Pottinger Alpinit. 2.5 metre windrower in the form of the SIP Favourite 254, a nice small forager wagon, the Pottinger Boss Alpin 251. And lastly, for our animals, we have a small mixer wagon, the Trailline 4.0 Premium. So I think the only thing that's missing there perhaps is a corn header, but I can't imagine that's a big issue. You do start with two power harrows, curiously. I think I'd be inclined to sell one of those and pick up a corn header, but that's entirely up to you. Okay, let's have a quick walk around the farm on foot before we pick a vehicle. Right, I'm back to starting position here, so you can see the various bits of equipment that we've just walked ourselves through. Some nice features around the farm. We've got pallets and generators and sack barrows. Let's just have a look and see if these open up. Ah, absolutely they do. So we're into our first animal area, which is for our sheep by the looks of things, definitely. So we can house 65 sheep here in this particular pasture. Let's just have a quick look outside. Yeah, that's nicely fenced off. It runs all the way around here and all the way down. So we've got access via this small track to the side of the farm, which in effect is the east side. I'm looking east right now. North is up there. I am struggling to get my bearings on this one. It's because I've come into the map facing the wrong direction in effect. But that's fine, I'll get used to it. So yeah, that's a nice large sheep pasture. Let's go back out through this barn. We'll leave the doors open so we know where we've been. And we have a nice vehicle bay here, a nice shelter for all of our different bits of equipment. I won't spend any time looking at these. I'm sure you've seen all of these before. They're all in-game core elements. Very nice indeed. Right, let's have a look in this barn here. This is another animal area. I suspect probably for pigs or cows. More likely cows, yes, I think so. So we can house 80 cows in this particular cow barn. We have all the usual points for overloading, for adding feed. Obviously the area where the cows come in for milking. Let's just move this sliding door. It looks like we've got a nice bunker here for manure. Obviously we have our muck trailer, which makes absolute sense having that part there. Let's have a quick skip through, just have a nice look at this very wide open field. I'm just going to hop over this electrified fence. Whoop. Yeah, very nice indeed. I like the fact that there's gradient here. There's a bit of interest. It's not just a big flat open paddock for our cows to graze. Plenty of grass for them to be chomping on, that's for sure. Very nice. Okay, back to the bunker and then we'll move on. Some nice object features just to the side here. We've got our stack of wood here. Some old piping. Perhaps it's new piping, who knows. What looks like some dust, some cement, old barrels. Various foliage growing out of the concrete. Just these little touches. I just love the experience of a new map, and you can see that you already have that kind of lived in feel. Let's have a look, see if there's more materials. Yes, there is. Very nice indeed. Okay, so we've got one more area. This is looking a bit more muddy, so I would hedge my bets that this is for pigs. And it is. So we can house 108 animals in here. So really, although this is a small map, it's certainly geared up for animal husbandry, perhaps over agriculture in terms of your field work. So this might be the sort of map for those of you who enjoy your animals more than your field work. Just having a look at this from an alternative view. Yeah, a nice sized pen for 108 piggy wigs. And then behind me, as we saw, another silo here, bunker. Right next door to the pig pen. Fantastic. So if I just walk out here, I'm just going to have a closer look at this ground texture. Yeah, we can see the track marks in here. We'll get a vehicle in a minute and drive over this and just see if it makes a difference. I suspect this is fixed. It's just a feature of the map. It's very nice. I do like that. It's a bit unique. So I'll just step to the side of the hayloft here. I don't know if we can make our way up. We can. There we go. Let's move this ivy out of the way. So this is the top of our hayloft. Very nice indeed, nice and tidy. I think we'll certainly be getting this filled up. And again, it alludes to the fact that this map is probably more geared up to animals in terms of cutting your grass and creating hay and silage to feed those animals throughout the year. Nice stack of bales. Are they interactive? I don't think they are. Let's get my HUD up. Lumberjack on. No, we can't pick these up. So they're just a visual feature. Very nice indeed. But sadly, it means we can't start with them straight away. Never mind. We don't want everything to be too easy when we start out. Okay, so turning back from the hayloft, let's walk back towards the main farm here. Pigs, of course, on the right-hand side. We have our cows in front of us. And we came round, so we need to have a look in this building on the left-hand side, which actually... yeah, that's the farmhouse, so we don't need to go back in there and have a look round. So I believe, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. It's a nice, small, tidy area. Ah, this looks like chickens. Let's have a quick look. I think this is just a small... it is. That's quite quaint. 360 chickens just allowed to free roam by the looks of it. We have our areas here you can see marked out on the ground. I actually really like that idea. So the chickens are just open and free to roam. Now, how... you'd actually go and find and hunt down the various eggs that they produce, I do not know. we should find that they all end up here. Let's have a quick look down the well. Oh, that's a shame. I'd like to have thrown a coin in there, made a wish. Never mind. Okay, it's time to pick a vehicle. Shall we have the Zeta, the Lizard pickup, the John Deere, or the Massey? Well, I've chosen the Zeta Major CL. I think it's a nice tidy little tractor. We can whip around and not feel like we're absolutely hogging up the road. Okay, let's get ourselves underway. Okay, so we're right in the middle of the farm, so I'm going to take a right and head north here. We'll go out on these new textured tracks and just see how they interact. We'll head up towards this main selling area here. We've got the vehicle shop, we've got the farmer's market, livestock market for our animals, and of course the animal dealer. We can then head south and pop down to this area here where we've got the supermarket, the restaurant and the grain mill. We'll take ourselves back out on the main road. We'll head kind of in a northeasterly direction, come down this track here towards the grain elevator and have a look there. And then we'll wind our way through these tracks. Most of this I'll do off camera just to save a bit of time. Come through this forest, back down, heading down towards field 35. We'll then pick up this kind of what we'd call a B road, a track perhaps. Wind up right, then left around field 15. Take a look at what we've got around here. The bakery, although we may need to come off the main road for that. And down to the end here, we've got the carpentry. Then we'll come out, pick up the main road again, and we'll head kind of clockwise around back towards the farm. I won't spend too much time in this northwesterly region, and I'll ignore this forestry area here. It's always nice for you guys to experience some things for the first time rather than watching someone else go through. So there we go, let's get inside the vehicle and get going. Well, it's 8:37, we've got our clock set to basically real time. I've got the small map on the screen just to keep my bearings correct. Right, I'm going to go for in-cab view initially. Let me know in the comments below if you prefer an in-cab view or whether you prefer the exterior view. It's always good to know. Obviously, it's you guys who are watching these videos, so we'll take it fairly slowly so things aren't too blurred. Heading out here onto these tracks. So let's just have a look initially at whether or not that makes a difference. I'm going to go exterior for this. Yeah, so we may be leaving some tyre marks, but I certainly can't see them. And we're obviously not making any change to the texture here, so that's fine. At least we're aware that is just a fixed texture within the game to give it a bit of an aesthetic. And you know what? I actually quite like it. So here we go, we're just heading east now along this track, as you can see on the mini-map. Let me give you my first impressions on the ground. It's nice. Feels authentic. I like the landscape here. It's subtle, working through these rocks. And this track, yeah, it does feel nice. I would say it feels slightly unrefined. I think the track marks themselves could be a bit more subtle. But I'm really nitpicking, and I really don't like nitpicking because the developers, they put in so much work. As a developer myself, I know how long it takes to code websites and apps, and to a certain degree games. And one day I may get round to creating a map of my own, hey ho. But the appreciation is always there for the community who create these wonderful landscapes and interactive maps. Okay, so here we are in this first area. Let's jump out and just have a quick walk around. So this is the farmer's market, as you can see. And just have a quick whiz around on foot. There we go, there's a sign that I missed on the way in. It's too busy talking. Now a nice view down the side. Yep, nice and tidy. So that's obviously one of the key selling points. We have our animal dealer over here. Let's just check that. Fairly obvious, but yes, we can buy all our various animals from here should we wish to. Come along, pick them up in our vehicles. Although we don't have any transportation for animals at the offset, certainly with this kind of map geared up for animal husbandry the way I feel it is, you won't be long before you pick up a trailer for hauling your animals around. Another pile of grass here. And obviously our drop-off point. And then to the left, I think we have... Let me remind myself. I think this is the store. Yeah, I think this is the vehicle store. Yes, it is. It's the shop. So there we go. We can go in and purchase all of our different vehicles. Is there anything on deal right now? Oh, nice little forklift. Yeah, a bigger tedder, which you may want to get into quite early, and a sprayer, something which I always feel is lacking initially. Okay, so there we go. That's that first area on the map. Let's just bring that up. We're up here. Zoom us in. So we just had a look. We've got the farmer's market, the animal dealer, the livestock market, and that's where the bales of hay were, the grass, and then obviously we're in the vehicle shop. So let's jump back in the tractor and just take this little track down to the supermarket and beyond. Certainly lots of space in there for customers to come in with all their various vehicles, and I think as you start to scale up, you are going to need that space for hauling large amounts of livestock. Okay, so that was a fairly short journey. It looks like we've got a petrol station, gas station to the left here for fueling up our various equipment. We're going to cross over the main road. Let's check. There's another French car coming across there. I think we're good. Now I just need to work out how we get in. I think it's to the just to the right here. So here we go. Let's go and park up outside the supermarket and find where all the various selling points are. So here we are outside the supermarket. Fairly standard affair. Yes, interactive zone markers are on. We have been seeing them. So where is the drop-off point for the supermarket? No, this is the S-Mart. So this is the supermarket drop-off. That's obviously the main building. So this is the supermarket. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I am confusing myself. Here we go. And then if we bring ourselves around here, we'll cut through. Yeah, okay, so we have other stores. Here we go, yeah. There are other shops and facilities available. So this will be the restaurant. Yeah, this is the pizza restaurant. So another point of sale should we require it. Very nice. Obviously a big cheese wheel there. And then over in the distance, I can't see a way to get through. I'm just going to have to straddle the fence. There we go. We are over to the grain mill. So yes, we would have to purchase the grain mill, but that's the start of a production chain should we wish to get into it. So let's just have another look around. We have the grain mill, the restaurant in front of us now, and the supermarket over in that corner. Now this one I feel is just the main building, the facade for the supermarket. Looks a bit like Lidl by the branding. So there we go, let's just have a quick look. We're down here, let's drag the map up. So yep, supermarket, there we go. I should have been looking at the image, I wasn't. The restaurant and the grain mill. So I will jump back in the tractor. We'll have a bit of a time-lapse, sped up video footage. We'll come up this main road and then we'll cut down here. I believe this might be, yeah, a hard standing area. So I think we can come in here, we'll have a look at the grain mill. Then I'll cut through and down, and I'll do this through fast footage, and then we'll come down to the bakery. So I will see you shortly. We'll have a quick walk around the grain mill. It's looking quite nice. It's going to be functional. Nice outbuildings. I do recognise this particular object. I feel like I've used it in another series. Very nice. Right, back in the tractor, and let's keep heading on our journey. So here we are in this southwest section of the map at Henry's Carpentry Workshop. Now we flew over this with drone cam early on. We could obviously certainly see that huge pile of logs, so that kind of gave it away from a high elevation. But yeah, let's just have a quick wander around, see what's about. There's a little bit of a floating object going on there, and buried object as well, so perhaps these were laid down before the ground was raised. Or perhaps they've just rotted. Who knows? Let's have a quick run around the other side. So obviously we have our drop-off point. We have our production chain management. Okay, let's get back in the old tractor and crack on with our journey. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there we go. Thank you for that quick flyby tour of the new Hills of Slovenia map by WhiteBull Modding. Let me know what you think. I'd like to hear your comments down below. We'll have a quick chat about the pros and cons of this particular map. But till then, I am going to go and make myself a cup of tea. Take care. Until the next review video, I'll see you soon. Bye bye.